Hello my friends, Namaste. Today in the morning I did my daily yoga routine and after I had some nice meditation. And somehow I got the idea, I want to talk about how and why I became a monk and how I came to Krishna Consciousness, to God Consciousness, the process of Bhakti Yoga, of love and devotion to God and to everyone else, to all living beings. My spiritual journey started in a very young age. Maybe I was 10, 11, when my mother first told me about energy and yoga, and it was always very interesting for me to see, to understand, hey, there's something more in life other than our body, our family, our work, our job. But it took me quite some years to go deeper, and I came to the point where I strongly was searching for something higher in life. I was 13 years old. Imagine, I started with marijuana, with alcohol in school, because I was not satisfied with the life. Many of us have the same experience, especially nowadays. The younger generation, we are so frustrated because something is missing in life. The schools, they only tell us, you have to get the best job, you have to get the most money, you have to be successful, you have to be number one, you're not allowed to fail. Forget about everything else, forget about enjoyment, forget about having fun. You have to be number one, you have to work hard, otherwise you can't survive. And many souls, they can't hear this actually. It blocks the flow of energy. We are all completely different. Some like to be artists, musicians, some like to swim, to do soccer, sports. Other people like to construct, to build things. We have warrior politicians, administration. We have scholars and saints and yogis. Everyone has different inclination, and we fail in our school system that we teach each individual what is the right path. It's very difficult, and that's why everyone gets frustrated and don't know what to do in life. A really rare small percentage, they figure it out from the beginning. They are good situated and then they will be happy automatically. But it is not common, it is very rare. So for myself it was the same situation. I was supposed to do something else. But my parents, they told me, yeah, become an electrician or a car mechanic and you are good with your hands, why don't you work? I hate working, I have to say. I worked my whole life on cars, on all kinds of constructions, but I never liked it. I like to study, to teach, to meditate, to practice yoga, to share wisdom. This was my real inclination. But my parents, my teachers, they didn't see. I didn't see myself. So the only way out in this time for me was to take some substances so that I can forget my misery, so that I can forget my false identification, my mind, my ego. And when you smoke, when you drink, you feel free, you feel everything is fine at the moment. Yeah? Afterwards, it's different. So I was craving for this kick, for this higher experience. Let me forget about anything else. But the thing is, it didn't stop with marijuana. When I was 14, I already had experience with ecstasy, with LSD. With the age of 15, I started using heroin on a daily basis. It went so far that I got really addicted to heroin. Somehow, my misery became deeper and deeper. It went so deep that I couldn't differentiate anymore between reality and my state of being completely high and in ecstasy. Everything was like mixed up. Then, for God's sake, I went to jail. This few months in jail immediately helped me to calm down a little bit, to pray. That the moment I went to jail the first time, I remember all of a sudden God was very real. And I was crying, I was so scared. And I was thinking, they told me 2 years to 10 years I have to go to jail. And I was so scared. For 10 birthdays I will not be here, for 10 Christmas parties I will not be here, I will not take any drugs, I will not have any girlfriends. I was thinking about all this stuff, and I remember this one moment I really started to cry, and I was praying. And in this time I was an atheist. I didn't believe much in God, and I was praying, please God, please help me. I can't stay in prison, please. I'm not a bad person. I just did something wrong, and I was selling some drugs, but I didn't mean to harm anyone. I was just young, and please forgive me. And I was praying so intensely. In the time of need, when we face some difficult situations, most of us automatically, instinctively, the soul knows, now it's time to pray. Now we have to surrender. When everything is fine, there's no need to pray. There's no need to surrender, because I'm in control. Life is great. Everything happens to me is wonderful. I'm happy. But in difficult situations, we immediately take shelter. When I was young, I went a couple of times in jail because I didn't know better. And that prison doesn't help anything if you don't become conscious, if you don't open yourself up and see actually that you live a life in illusion. You live, anyways, we're all in the prison in the material world, but then you are in the prison of the prison, you know, and you try to make something good out of it. And you get deeper and deeper entangled with all kinds of people who are criminal, who are taking drugs, who are abusing people. Like, it gets worse and worse. You attract more of this energy in life. It was very difficult, but I never wanted to do something bad. I just wanted to enjoy and be peaceful and happy. But this was my path. And the third time I was in jail, when I came out, before I came out, I remember one friend of mine, he came in the same room, in the same prison cell like I was. And we had a deep conversation in night about God. And I challenged him. I said, prove me that there's a God. Quote some scripture or whatever. And he told me, okay, just one thing. You don't believe in God. That's fine. You say everything happened by chance. But where is the universe coming from? All the planets, all these manifestations. If there's no God, no beginning, where did it came from? Of course you could say it was the Big Bang. But then he said, where was the Big Bang coming from? I was like, actually, it makes sense. It's simple, it makes sense. In that moment, something changed. I all of a sudden understood there must be something more. And when I was young, I was Christian, I went to church, I was praying. I really liked it, the stories about Jesus and Moses and all the knowledge and wisdom. And I remembered all these things. And then in the prison, I came to another room, another cell, and I was with another guy on the cell, and he was a Buddhist. So he told me about the way of Buddha, to just meditate and seek enlightenment. And then he gave me a small tiny book, and I read about the Buddhism. It was very interesting because first time I came in touch with, you meditate, you see your suffering, you understand you are not this body, there's like the nirvana and this universal consciousness. It was really capturing me. So when I came out, I told everyone I'm a Buddhist. I had no idea about Buddhism. I just read this small tiny book. But I told everyone I'm a Buddhist. And then from one of my best friends, the mother, she also was on a spiritual path. And she asked me about Buddhism. Somehow I tried to sell her my Buddhist ideas, and she was very open and happy. And at one occasion, I think it was Christmas time, she invited me over and we watched a movie called The Secret. And The Secret, many of you know maybe, it's a movie about how to manifest, how to visualize, how to get everything you want in life. And I tried it out, and all of a sudden it was very interesting to meditate, to focus on something, to understand everything is vibration. Whatever you think, you will attract in life. What you feel, what you express, what you vibrate, you will get more in life. But after 2-3 weeks, I thought, okay, if this all is true, and if there is a source, a God, a universe, vibration, energy, if I'm not this body, if I'm a soul, then why should I hanker for all this materialism? Why should I wish for all this money if I have nothing to do with it because I'm the soul? So that's the point when it got interesting. And I have to say, I didn't stop with the drugs. I went even more into it. And in the same time, I was looking for something higher. I was looking for God, for love, for divinity. but my two worlds were crashing. The junkie from the jail and the spiritual seeker yogi who wants to liberate himself from material suffering. To come out of this world, it was very, very difficult. I was really struggling for many years. And as my heroin addiction became deeper and deeper, I had really withdrawals. I couldn't tolerate it anymore. So the government, actually, the pharmacy, they gave me free morphine just to be normal, kind of. And I tried to accept it. Everyone told me, no, accept it. You're an addict. You have to live with it your whole life. Just take your morphine and be fine. And for many years I did this. Imagine how twisted our whole society is. And I actually only wanted to come out of it. I wanted to stop. I wanted to change my environment, my health. I want to be happy without all these substances. But I didn't know how. Nobody told me. I tried everything. I read all kinds of books, all kinds of literatures. I meditated every day for 1-2 hours. Sometimes so far I couldn't feel any of these drugs because the practice of the meditation was so deep, so purifying that nothing else helped. At one point, again, I had to go to jail. It was always constantly in and out. For this time, for 5 years, I could stay away from prison. But again, my karma was there. I couldn't escape my karma. It happened again and again, the same thing, over and over again. Also the reason why I went inside, the way it happened, it was always the same situation. After the 4th time when I came out, on the street, with my last money, I remember, I went to town to buy some marijuana with 10 euros I had left. I met a monk on the street, and then the monk, he said, "Hey, how are you? Look, I have a wonderful book for you." And he just gave me a book, you know. And I was like, wow, you know, what's this? I'm very interested, you know, I'm also spiritual, you know, I'm also like you. Yeah, he tried to sell me the book, and I told him, actually I have no money. I said, yeah, something, give something, you know, maybe you have something. And then I pretend to look in my wallet, you know, and I check, and I see I have 10 euros hidden, but I need this 10 euros because I need to buy my drugs. And then he said, come on, it's for monk, it's good for you, just take it. And then somehow in my heart something changed, and I gave him the 10 euros and said, okay, just give me the books, you know. And it was 2 books, The Science of Self-Realization, wonderful book, and the Ishopanishad, the most important of the 108 Upanishads, part of the Vedic scriptures. And then he gave me a vegetarian cookbook for free. I told him, yeah, I know, actually Jesus, he also preached vegetarianism, and nowadays it's forgotten, but I like meat, but I would like to be vegetarian, but it's very difficult. I tell it all my friends, but I myself can't do it, you know. I remember, and then I was so happy that I got these books, and then I was thinking, okay, my friends, they're waiting for me to buy some stuff. I used the last money to buy some books, you know. Then I went to my friends and I showed them the books. Look what I got, you know. I was so excited to present the books to them. And actually they were very upset, you know, what you do with these books, you know, you can't smoke them, you know. And then whole night I was reading this book, like, was like interesting, but somehow I couldn't relate to it. It was about this Krishna, and I always thought Krishna is some kind of guru who poses himself as God, and it was a little bit awkward. So I liked the philosophy, but it was a little bit too much at this time. So I put the book away, I forgot about the monk, and 1 year later, I read all my books about spirituality. I had nothing to read. And then in the shelf, I saw the Science of Self-Realization. So I grabbed the book, I opened it, and I started reading the introduction. And in the introduction, it was spoken about Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It was so interesting. Actually, I got so convinced from him because he was selfless service all the time. He had programs. He was cleaning himself, he was cooking himself, he was doing everything himself. And he never asked anyone for help. And then somebody came and asked him, Swamiji, do you mind if I help you cleaning? And he was thinking like, finally, you know, finally somebody comes and helps. But he was showing like so much care and love for these people. It was in the 70s, in the hippie area, 60s, 70s. And I was so impressed by his personality. So I continued reading, even though I knew the other book I didn't like so much. And this book, it was so to the point, exactly what we need to hear. He talked with a physician, I think, with some doctors, with some lawyers, some politicians, some Christian priest, some police officer. And he tried to explain them the importance of being God conscious, how it will dissolve all our problems. Doesn't matter which culture you are, doesn't matter which race, which color, which religion you have. If we all be God conscious, there's only one God. Of course, and God has unlimited names, like the sun, Sonne, Sol, Ra. And so God has unlimited names. And one of these names is Krishna. And I remember it was so mystical to read about Krishna. Krishna means the all-attractive one. And there was this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare is the pleasure potency, the inner potency of the Lord. Hari, the one who takes away all our misconception, our bad habits, our material lifestyle, and who gives us spiritual bliss. Rama, the source of all pleasure. So I read the book in a few days and I was very interested to get more knowledge from this. And Swamiji always talked about the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I went to a bookstore to buy the Bhagavad Gita. And he told me it will take a couple of weeks to order exactly this Bhagavad Gita as it is. And I told him, okay, forget about it. Anyways, I will buy something else. You know, just a moment later, a friend of mine called, Tony. And Tony asked me, hey Alex, what are you doing? You know, let's meet. And I said, yeah, actually I'm looking for a book from a monk I got 1 year ago. And he said, yeah, there's some monks distributing some books today in the town, right in front of this one bookstore called Thalia. And I was like, I'm in Thalia, you know, you sure? He said, yes, he stands in front of Thalia. And I stormed out, I was running and I was so excited, you know. And all of a sudden, the same monk, like 1 year before, he was standing in front of Thalia. And he had 2 Bhagavad Gitas in his hand. And I was approaching him, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. And then he told me, no, you say Hare Krishna. I didn't know in this time, but I was so excited. I said, look, I'm looking for this book. I just went in the bookstore and then my friend called me and I explained him the whole situation. And he said, yeah, I have 2 left, 1 is for you. And he gave me the book, I gave a nice donation. And I was so happy. I held the book in my hand. It had such spiritual potency. I was so happy. And then he told me, hey, come, we have a program. We do some mantra and some singing, some kirtan. We have some nice food, vegetarian. Please come and let's get to know each other. And yeah, so he invited me, gave me this flyer, and I told my mother, and she was like, you know, be careful, maybe it's a sect, you know, you don't know. And on that Saturday, I tried to go to this place and I couldn't find it. And actually I called my mother and I said, yeah, I know, forget about it, I can't find it. And she said, no, she encouraged me, go there, see for yourself if you like it or you don't like it, you know, but you will never know if you don't go there. So I was really eager to find the place, and I came almost half an hour late, and I was hesitant, and then I heard some people singing, and I was waiting in the staircase, and then one lady opened the door and she said, hey, you came for the program, come in, no worries, you know, we don't bite you, come in. And I went inside and they were singing this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. The sound vibration of this mantra, the whole room was filled with ecstasy. The whole room had so much Shakti, so much energy. So they had some instruments, harmonium, it sounds like an accordion, but you sit and you play it. Then you had some drums and some hand cymbals, divine scents, this incense, and it was amazing. And I was sitting down, I was focusing on my heart, I did my meditation, I tried to focus on the sound vibration and was chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. It was so much transformation inside of me. My heart got so purified, I got so clear, so happy, so blissful. I didn't know what happened on the day, but for 1 week, I couldn't stop chanting this mantra. Then I had a conversation with the monk. I told him, I'm half through the Bhagavad Gita, it's the best book I ever read, and I want to surrender to Krishna and to God. I was so inspired to just absorb this knowledge and ask him, I have problems at home and what can I do? And he told me, be humble. Your mother gave you everything. She cared about you, she gave you life, she gave you everything you need to be in this moment right now. And then everything changed. I tried to be more humble, more understanding, and the relationship at home became so much better. So I decided, these monks are really cool. They are somehow special. I saw so many spiritual people practicing and talking and drinking alcohol, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, and somehow I was not convinced. Everyone speaks about God and religion and spirituality, but you know, when you ask them, what is your practice, then they're like, oh yeah, Once a week I pray, and no, that's not about spirituality. Spirituality needs to be a lifestyle, something you practice every day, 24 hours, even at night. And these monks, they embodied this philosophy, what I believed is right for me. I'm not saying other traditions, religions, spiritual practices are wrong. Everyone has to find his path. But for me in this moment was the path of Krishna Consciousness. So I decided to become a monk. But then my past kicked in. I realized I want to be the monk, but I'm still addicted to morphine and to heroin and to marijuana and to my lifestyle, and how to combine these two together. I got even more confused. So I went to the pharmacy, to the doctors, and I told them, hey, I want to stop with the drugs. I want to change my life. Then they sent me somewhere else to talk with someone about my life and why I want to change. There's some social workers who specialized on people who have drug problems, issues with substances. And I told them, please, I want to stop, I want to change my life. You know what they told me? Forget about it. You're taking already since 7-8 years. You can't stop. You had so many withdrawals, you tried it so many times. It will not work, just accept it, live with it. And I was like, at the moment I thought, okay, maybe I should accept it, I mean, like, maybe I can practice and become a monk and just take my medicines, and I will not have any high. I just take it as a normal medicine and I live my life. But inside of me it was burning. The voice inside was saying, no, you can't live on your drugs and be completely spiritual. It doesn't go together. So I went to my doctor and I told her, please, I want to stop. And they said, you're not ready. If you want to stop now, you have to do it on your own. We will not give you anything, any help, like in form of medication. So I said, okay, I will do it by myself. And I went home and I prayed like anything. I cried every day, I prayed. I stopped with the morphine, but then, after a few days, the withdrawal was too strong. So I started again, I stopped, I started again. For 1-2 months, back and forth, I couldn't stop. It was really difficult. And then all of a sudden, I got a letter from police. I had to go to police. And police told me, you were part of some crime, I said, no, I didn't do anything, And then they said it was 2-3 years ago. They said, you did it, you have to confess, what's happening. Please tell us the truth. In this moment, I realized when you tell too much, if you tell the truth, then the police get you, you go to jail. And so better say no. You can always change your mind. You get a lawyer, you protect yourself. You don't want to risk to go to jail for a long time. So I said no. I didn't do it. It's a lie. To some extent, it was a little bit over exaggerated. I didn't do it exactly like they said, but I was guilty. But I said no. I denied everything. So I had a court case 3 months later, and I already was on the way to stop my medication. I was almost on a point where I could completely let it go. And I was already on the lowest dose, so I couldn't feel anything anymore. I was like, my mind was like clear, kind of, and I was ready to become a monk. And then I had this court case. Before the court case, I was praying so much that I can survive somehow, that I don't need to go to jail and whatever will happen. In the court case, some witnesses came, 2 witnesses, and they lied completely. They were not there the day, I didn't see them at the day, but they said that I was involved. So can you imagine? They lied, but I was really involved, So the judge told me, if you deny it now, you will get in trouble, I give you a few moments, just go out of the room, discuss with your lawyer, and then come back and confess or deny. So my lawyer told me, you have to tell the truth. Then you will only go to jail for 2-3 years. If you're not telling the truth, you can go over 5 years even. So just tell the truth. I said, no, I'm innocent. It wasn't me. And one friend of mine, he was also involved in the situation. He was sitting outside also. And then he said, don't be stupid, just tell the truth. Go in jail for 1-2 years, that's it, Just be honest. And my lawyer said, so you did it, no? I said, yes, I did it, but I want to become a monk. I want to change my life. I can't say the truth. I don't want to go to jail again. I already did my 17, 18 months in jail in my life. I'm done, And he said, yeah, you have to tell the truth. No worries, you will get, not judged so high, but for 1 to 3 years you have to go inside. So I was like, okay. I accepted it at the moment, but I was praying to God, please, pray to the super soul. I pictured God in each of them in the heart, and I prayed to them, to the lawyers and the judges. Please forgive me, please help me. I don't want to go to jail. Please, please, please. And I confessed, and I was really regretting, and I told them, I'm changing my life now. I stopped with the drugs. I want to become a monk. If I go to jail now, my whole life will be destroyed. The jail doesn't help. I will go again deeper into intoxication. Please help me. Please don't allow this to happen. And then the judge said, because you did this crime before the age of 21, you are considered as not fully an adult. So we can give you a little bit smaller sentence than usually, because you were not fully an adult. So you could still charge you as a teenager actually. So he told me, I will give you 3 months, I was so happy, I was shining. I was like, 3 months, I can sit 3 months on my left side of the buttocks on the toilet. I don't mind 3 months, And anyways, the judge gave me 3 months of jail. I was like, still, okay, I want to be a monk now, I have to go to jail again, but 3 months is nothing, But in this time, till I was supposed to go inside, I again started with drugs. And when I went to jail, I had such a bad withdrawal for many, many weeks. Even in the jail, I started again with smoking, with taking stuff. It's very easy in the jail, you get it everywhere. But I really wanted to become a monk. And then, what happened, the most amazing thing, the day I had to go to jail, I went inside and I planned my whole time that I'm in jail for 3 months to come out on the day where's Krishna Janmashtami, the biggest celebration in our culture. So I wanted to experience this festival and I want to become a monk on that day. But I went 1 week later to jail because I was scared, I was hiding and I didn't want to go to jail. I actually was already at the monastery, at the temple. I thought I just stay there now and I'm not going to jail. But after 1 week I had some doubts, and so I went back, and after 1 day they caught me at home. They drove me to jail. I went inside and I was so frustrated because now I couldn't come out on Krishna Janmashtami. I couldn't celebrate with the monks and I was so sad. Then a letter came, and one time was 5 months innocent in the jail. Okay, nobody is really innocent, but in this case I was kind of innocent. And I got a letter because many years ago you were 5 months in jail innocent, but we only paid you, because they paid me for this 5 months, we only paid you for 4.5 months. So we owe you like 900 euros or 600 euros. Then they asked me, do you want to take the money or do you want to be released 9 days earlier? Then I calculated, you will not believe it, I calculated it exactly. Krishna Janmashtami was the day I was supposed to be released. I could see God's hand in this. I was sure this was like some kind of a miracle for me. I was allowed to get all my books, my beads where I could meditate. This 3 months, even though I started again with drugs, but I could live very spiritually. I prepared myself to become a monk. You know what happened? The day before I was released, I had a nice prison cell, I had even a television, I had regularly my weed, I could smoke, I had even a job. I could work every day till 3 p.m. So I was kind of good situated, I had some income, I could enjoy life. Even though I was in prison, okay, and I get it, but still I had some fear. If I leave prison, I have to become a monk. I have to come out and become a monk. There was some hesitation and I was thinking like, maybe I should stay in prison. I remember that day and it was really real, like I was afraid of being free, to become a monk, to surrender to God. The next day I got released. I went to the temple and then I had some excuses. I have to go back for a week. I need my passport and I will come back. And again I went back for 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, one older monk, he called me, hey, when you come, you promised you come and you were just taking drugs again. And he was right, yeah. I just wanted to go back to enjoy, to take drugs, and it was so difficult to come out. But then I said, okay, I surrender now. On Monday I come. On Monday I came and I never left. I became a monk. And yeah, the step to Krishna, I only took one step to him, but he took 100 steps to me. He carries me since then. If I would tell you now everything happened in the last 10, 12 years, you will not believe it. This already was quite amazing, the story about my time in jail and how I became a monk and spiritual. There was much more to it. This was just a shortcut. But then after, my life became a whole miracle. I met so many amazing people. I went to so many special places, especially in India, on the holy places of Mayapur and Vrindavan, to experience the potency of the holy name of the Lord. Like amazing, like transformational. The heart is opening, all the bad habits, identifications, just more and more like get removed and die on you, and you take a new shape, a new life. I was 5 years monk. I practiced very strictly, but I could see I had some desires to get married, and after 5 years I left the ashram. I was like a brahmachari. I wore saffron color. It was a life in celibacy, you know. As a monk you have no sexual intercourse. And then I decided I want more. I want to get married, I want to have family, I want to have my own home, I want to travel whenever I want. There was still some kind of desires in my heart. So then I gave up the life in the temple as a monk. And I was traveling for 1-2 years and to India and was preaching in various places. And it was a very interesting time. And then I met my wonderful wife in Vrindavan in India. Yeah, we immediately had some connection, and we had the same spiritual teacher, the same spiritual master. He gave us the blessings and he helped us to somehow come together. She's from South Africa, I'm from Germany. I'm the ex-chunky monk prisoner, and she's the South African beautiful doctor who came from a traditional Indian background. So it was, yeah, not so easy, but we could combine our two worlds, and now we live together in Germany. We have a wonderful daughter. We practice Krishna Consciousness together, and everything I learned in the temple, everything I learned before the temple, everything was meant to happen, to be in this moment right now. And I have to say, I love my life. I love my family, I love my friends, I love the monks, the temple, everything. Life is beautiful, but life can be only beautiful if we surrender to life, surrender to God. We have so many conceptions, what we want to achieve, what we want to do, what is important for us. But nothing matters. When you face jail, a sentence, imagine life sentence, what you gonna do 25 years in jail, you know? Your life, so to speak, is over. But that's not true. Even then, you can practice meditation. You can focus on your heart. You can pray to God. You can serve God. You can chant His holy names. You can help others to develop themselves, to create God conscious. Yeah, I know, sorry, I sound very inspired because I am. My life showed me that not everything is black and white. Not everything is bad and good. Even myself, I come from this background of drugs and some criminal records. But I always was looking for something pure. I was always pure myself somehow. I was kind of innocent and didn't know better. And because I was looking for this higher taste, I was looking in lower places for higher taste because of my ignorance. But the higher taste you can experience right now. Check out a few videos about pranayama meditation, breath control, how to connect, how to let go of the mind. This will help you so much on your path. And if you really want to go deep, get yourself a Bhagavad Gita as it is. Read the book. Understand who you are. What the body is, the mind is, the soul is, time is, karma is, and who God is. And most important, what is your relationship to Him? Thank you for the time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me some feedback, some comments, share your experience. Let's keep in touch. Yes. Namaste. Hare Krishna.